and welcome to In the Spotlight, a chance to get to know the financial services practice group team here at BerryDunn. I'm Susan Weber.
And I'm Brooke Wells.
Fellow team members and hosts of the series. We're joined today by David Stone, manager at BerryDunn.
Hey, nice to be here, guys.
Hi, Dave. Welcome. I feel like we ought to give you a nickname. I feel like everybody on the series needs a nickname. Not us, of course, but I'm kind of thinking Iron Dave for you. Iron Dave. We'll see if it sticks. We'll see if it sticks, and hopefully that will become evident in today's discussion. So to kick us off, tell us how you got into the profession. How long have you been in accounting?
Yeah, so I got into the profession, I guess you could say, during college. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to go to college for, I was actually thinking about going for music. And it was my girlfriend, now wife, that convinced me otherwise. She was like, I know you love music, but how about you try out accounting?
And, music, accounting, they're pretty similar.
I like to tell myself that, Susan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I gave it a shot, went to the University of Southern Maine for my undergrad degree, studied accounting as well as economics. Then went to Thomas College for my graduate degree. And while at USM as well as Thomas, I interned at BerryDunn, starting in the tax department for a brief winter season and then transitioned to the audit department where I currently work. And while at Thomas College, I started studying for the CPA exam and, fortunately passed all exams first try and was actually awarded the Elijah Watt Sells Award.
Wow.
It was not expected and, very, very exciting to say the least. And that award is if you pass all four exams first try with a cumulative average score above 95 and a half.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah. So it was definitely an accomplishment I'm proud of. So I've been at BerryDunn for about 6 years now, again, straight out of college and work primarily in the financial services practice group on banks, credit unions, broker dealers, and then also focus on a lot of employee benefit plan audits during the summer months.
You're so talented. We're so happy you chose BerryDunn for your career. What have you been involved in recently within the accounting profession?
Yeah, so in the profession as a whole, a recent focus or involvement of mine has been with the Maine Society of CPAs. And the Maine Society of CPAs is a local not-for-profit with about 600 members. And I'm currently the president of the society. So, I lead the board meetings. We have a few each year. And the society, really focuses on a bunch of different aspects of the profession. So education, providing educational opportunities for its members. Advocacy for the profession is a huge, item that we're focused on. And that's, it really runs all over the place from just, looking at the accounting pipeline, who's studying accounting, who's interested in the profession, and also looking at on the legislative front, what's in the pipeline there and how can we support those efforts. And lastly, networking. We do a lot of great events just to get accountants, whether, public accountants or accountants in private practice, just engaged and involved with one another.
Wow, that is very comprehensive. I know I said Iron Dave, but I'm actually now I'm still obsessed over this music piece that I didn't know about you, Dave. So now I'm the singing accountant. I don't know. Now my mind just wandered. But back to the task at hand. In the relatively short time that I've known you, David, your passion for the profession really shines through. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad it does because I am very passionate about what I do. And I guess if I could kind of hone in on that passion, I really love just the technical aspects of what we do. So, looking at new accounting standards, auditing standards, and dissecting them and ultimately trying to help my clients gain control over those standards as well, help them implement them in a way that makes the most sense for their business. And I guess to provide some examples of some, stuff that I've been looking at recently, specific to financial institutions, TDR accounting has been a huge focus, as you know, Susan, with TDR accounting being eliminated and, some enhancements to the disclosure requirements regarding loan modifications. ESG has also been a hot topic, so environmental, social, and governance. And we've seen the SEC come out with proposals on proposed, climate change disclosures. Lease accounting as well has been a focus of mine. There's a new accounting standard that is going to be taking effect that really impacts the way that our clients will be accounting for operating leases. So we actually have a lease committee here at BerryDunn that I'm part of that's been producing content internally as well as externally.
An example of that, I don't mean to cut you off, but a really great example of that is that instructional video that you put out for lenders. Isn't that true on the lease accounting change?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Susan. Yeah, there was a video that I put out, I believe it was last fall, so fall 2021, that was really targeted towards lenders and what they needed to consider in regards to these new lease accounting standards.
Excellent.
Dang, there's just no slowing you down, huh? You mentioned a lot of technical aspects. I was recently reading an article you wrote back in 2020 about remote work and controls. Do you remember this article? At the time, we were thinking it was more of a temporary thing. Any thoughts about it now?
Yeah, wow, you're going back a ways, Brooke. 2020. I do remember that article, though. I co-wrote it with Kaylin Landry, another professional in the financial services practice group. And at the time, we thought that a lot of those items would be temporary. But as we know now, a lot of those remote work considerations have started to take more of a permanent focus for our clients. And, I think a lot of the considerations that we mentioned in that article still hold true today. So just to recap some of those, tone at the top, what does that look like in a remote work environment, or even a hybrid work environment where you have some people in the office and some working fully remotely? How do you engage with your team and really, showcase the tone that you want to provide to your team? In some ways that you can do that, are weekly emails to the team, just kind of checking in with everyone, sharing whatever's top of mind. Video calls are also a great way. So having one-on-one meetings with those remote employees, just routine check-ins, just to make sure that they're, seeing a face and, feel part of the team. Another thing I'll mention is, with the transition to remote work, there may have been accommodations made to existing internal controls. As we're well aware, the shift to remote work was mainly a result of the pandemic, and things, transitioned very quickly. So I think it's reasonable that there may have been accommodations to internal controls that were made out of necessity. But, now that we're a few years removed from that time, if you're still operating under that new control environment, well, what accommodations did you make? Do you have an inventory of those accommodations, and do they remain appropriate? Are they maybe not accommodations? Or is that a sign of a possible weakness in control design that should be addressed?
Wow, sounds like this article is even more relevant today than it was in 2020. We can put a link in the podcast description for anyone who would like to go back and read that. It was so nice to get to know you, David. It was fun getting to shine the spotlight on you today. Before we go, are you ready for a quick accounting joke?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, let's see what you got, Brooke.
What do you call an accountant without a spreadsheet?
Oh gosh, what do you call an accountant without a spreadsheet? I have no clue, Brooke. You got me stumped on this one.
Lost.
Oh my gosh. Wah, wah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, on that note, do you see how I got back to music, Dave? On that note, thanks everyone for joining. Be on the lookout for more of your favorite professionals in the spotlight.